Hello, this is itemization and welcome back to the channel. In this Ghostlore video, I want to talk to you about this indie hack and slash action RPG game that entered early access on April 14th, 2021. There was a beta some months ago, and that was my first time playing it. And then I just recently jumped back in now that the game is actually in early access. I want to talk to you about this game today, and I will have the timestamps down below if there's something you're wanting to know about the game. I'm hoping I can help you decide if you want to spend your money on this game or not. Ghostlore is a pretty unique game. My number one complaint with the game currently is that the story is really short. I beat the story content in under 2 hours. They did say 60% of the story and maps and enemies are already in the game. So with 40% more of the game to come throughout early access, there's maybe another hour of story content. As you progress through the story, you'll be talking to this NPC over here that'll kind of guide you through the story and the happenings in the world that there currently is. There's a total of, including the main city hub, there's a total of about 8 maps that you'll come across throughout the story, so it is pretty short. My impression of the game is that they want you to get into the end game mode, and really what they want you to do is dig into that character customization and min-maxing your builds, because that's kind of the funnest part of the game, honestly. So the story is really short. You jump right into the end game after a few hours of playing, and the end game is also a little bit shallow in my opinion. All it is this Hellgate island that you can go to, and it is just an endless dungeon mode. One thing that's cool that I should have mentioned about the story as well is all the maps that you enter are randomly generated, so you can't like memorize where to go for each objective. You actually got to go through and actually find the item each time you go into the map. When I first saw Ghostlore, the one thing that I didn't know about, and if I didn't know if I'd really enjoy, is the graphics and the art style of the game. I really didn't know if that would fit that well into the genre and if the gameplay would be that fluid for me to really enjoy. After some time of learning some of the quirks with the game and understanding how the mechanics actually work, I really did have a good time playing with my build that I had customized. But the highlight of this game overall, as I said earlier, is the character customization and all the different options that you have to build out your own character. When you make your very first character, you have your different hairstyles. That's about it for character like appearances, I guess. Other than that, you have 6 different classes to choose from. Each class has 4 skills and 4 passives that you can unlock. There's Adept, Exorcist. This one was the class that I went with because I really wanted to do a minion build with the Guardian Spirits. After leveling it up, though, I found out that the Sentinel actually has more pet options. But, you know, I don't regret my choice. The Guardian Spirit is pretty strong. You also have the Geomancer, which is kind of like a wizard mage type of class. A Hashashin, hopefully I'm saying that correct, who knows. But this is kind of like your rogue type class. And then you have Feral, which can actually shapeshift into a weretiger. I haven't played this one. The only one I've played here is the Exorcist, the Sentinel, and then I think I spec'd into Adept at level 30 to pick up the Spectral Blades. You also have a permadeath mode option in there as well. But what I want to talk to you about here is all the different options you have for customizing your character. So each time that you level up, you'll get a stat point to allocate within your skill tree, obviously. What's really cool about this game is at level 15 and then at level 30, you can pick a second and third class to specialize into as well, opening up the door for even more options. There is quite a bit here. Once you dig in, and it took me a little bit to sit there and kind of analyze all of it, and you can really tweak the stats of your character, and that's really cool. The only downfall I found from this was there's not a lot of gameplay altering choices, really. What I mean by that is I picked Guardian Spirit and started using it, and then, you know, I made the skill stronger so that I could summon more, use less mana, and did more damage. And that's cool, but I think it'd be really nice to be able to change the element of the Guardian Spirit, for example, or maybe make them do different things, kind of like what we see in Last Epoch. But anyway, before I get off track here and ramble on too much, let's stay focused here on what Ghostlore actually has to offer. So once you pick an active ability, you then unlock 3 passive nodes that you can also spec into and put points into that'll, like I said, increase the damage, minion limit. But what's cool is there's also a global stat on these as well. For example, this one gives me more skill recharge duration and up to 30% on that. So it's pretty cool, and they all have little different options like that. Pretty cool stuff. A lot that you really could spend a lot of time min-maxing all of this if you want to. And the way that their passive traits work is once you've spent 5 points into a class, you can then pick one passive, and then you can spend 5 points again and get another passive, and so on. The passives cannot be leveled up. It's just once you have the passive, you just have it. That's pretty much it. So that is your classes, and then how you can pick additional classes that also play into it. So on mine, I did a full pet minion build, whatever you want to call it. And it's a pretty fun little build so far. Other than that, you have your food buff. This is a really minor part of the game, but actually can make you pretty strong if you get lucky. While you're out exploring the world, you're going to find different materials that you can use to cook food. Each time that you cook a food, it gives you a random food buff. And these are all active. So you can unlock another one at 40. These unlock as you level up, by the way. And just another way to get more stats, pretty much. Last but not least, we have loot, itemization, and kind of how that ties in as well. You have 5 different item slots. You have a weapon slot, shield, scarf, hat, and amulet. Pretty basic there. But where the game really shines is their glyph system. I absolutely love this system. It's by far one of the most unique systems I think I've seen in an action RPG in a while. What's really cool about this, and as you level up, you'll unlock new spots for glyphs. So mine's not even fully filled out yet. But you'll get glyphs that give you different bonuses based on what you have slotted into that glyph. So what do I mean by that? So we're looking at a solely glyph right here. It is a yellow rarity, so that's why we have the 3 additional stats there at the top in blue. But now down at the bottom, you can see that if I put a Utala, Sona, I'm probably saying these all wrong, but if I put those in there, I can also get these extra bonuses as well. Because if you don't have any of these special glyphs in there, you just get these effects that's on the glyph itself. But the minute you put in one of these shaped glyphs, you get even more bonuses just for having the glyphs within the puzzle piece, I guess. So it's kind of like Tetris or something like that. But yeah, it's pretty interesting once you dig into it, and there is a lot to min-max with this system. Last thing I want to point out here is this is just one example. You can actually take a glyph in here and you can change the shape of the glyph if you want to. Or you could keep the shape but change the glyph type. And then you also have other options as well with different NPCs. As I mentioned, the blacksmith. You can level up your gear. You can upgrade the rarity. You can upgrade gems. You can, if you want to unsocket a gem from an item, you can destroy the item, keep the gem, and so on. So there really is a lot there in terms of character customization. Where the game falls short, however, is there's just not a lot to do. Now, if you want to just jump into a game where you can customize your character and continue leveling it and all of that, this is definitely a great game for you. There's a lot of options with 6 different classes, cross-classing, and all these different character customization elements. There is a lot you could do and min-max on this game. However, with the lack of story content and the end game mode, honestly, a little bit boring in my opinion. I don't know if I can fully recommend the game, but like I said, I think what the game is trying to do is eventually they want to open the game up to modding and hope the community will add even more content. So I don't know if you want to say it's an acquired taste type of game or something, but for $15, it is a unique game and there's some pretty cool elements there and things you can min-max and totally nerd out on. Anyway, that's my review of Ghostlore. Hopefully it helped you out. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for even more gaming content. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.